Good afternoon. We will look into algorithm today, and I choose Python to explain that. You know that little sheet you saw on the screen right now has been provided to me by someone in République démocratique du Congo, RDC. The student is sending me this and try to understand algorithm. It's written in French. I'm going to translate that to you for you in English. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to do exercises number 1. But in that exercises, there is 3 exercises to do. Exercises 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. The first exercise, they ask me to provide 2 values, u and v. And u must be lower or equal to v. So we're gonna do something in Python, asking on the keyboard what is the value of u and v, and then we have to loop from u to v, and we need to add those numbers. But if this number is a multiple of 3, we don't take care of it. We just accumulate and print number different or not a multiple of 3. This is what we have to do. The second exercise, we're gonna have 2 numbers, and we're gonna go. The first number is n, and the second number is k. The n represent the maximum value. We don't want to go more than that. K is the number we're gonna use as exponent. We're gonna add 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 by 3 plus 1 multiplied by 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4, 5 until we reach the k. If example, the k equals 6, we're gonna 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 and 3 until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But at the moment, that is as long as this is lower than n. If we reach n, we won't go until k. So we go to k or up to n, it depends. And because it's an addition, we're adding everything, and the addition of all these lower than n is the maximum where we're gonna stop. And the third exercises, we're gonna do a simple function called mixage. I translate by mix it. It's a function. We're gonna give them 2 string like a, b, c, d, e, f, and a string 0 to 9. And the mix it function will invert on both string every second numbers. So when the position in the string is a odd number or a even number, we're gonna permute. So at the end we should have a1, c3, d, e5, and 0b, and so on. So every 2 numbers or a even position, we permute those character in the string. So this is the 3 exercises we're going to do today. I prepared everything here and I do it in Python. Let's begin with the first exercise. The first exercise, I'm going to input the value of u and the value of v. But because input is giving me a string, I'm going to convert that string to a integer and put that into u, and convert the second value string into a integer and put that in v. So u equal 4 and v equal 9, example, if I provide 4 and 9. If v is lower than u, I'm gonna show something to the user. You have an error. V must be greater or equal to u. But if it's correct, we're gonna continue and we will print numbers from U to V and accumulate it. But we won't do that for if the number is a multiple of 3. How to achieve this? We're gonna achieve that. I'm gonna set an accumulator, just the variable I'm gonna use to accumulate all numbers. I will go from U to V, like the exercise is asking me to do. If a modulo, if you're not familiar with that kind of syntax, this is a counter. If my counter divided by 3, but the rest of it, when you do a percentage like that, it means the rest of the division, not the division. I'll give you an example. 4 divided by 3 equal 1. Rest is 3. So the remaining is 3, sorry. The rest is in French. The remaining is 3. So the remaining is different from 0. And because the remaining is different, 4 is not a multiple of 3. We're going to display it on the screen and we're going to accumulate it. This is what we have to do in our first exercise. And then we're gonna go to 5. 5 divided by 3 equal 1. Remain 2. Remain is different than 0. So 5, it's not a multiple of 3. We're gonna print it and accumulate it. When we will reach 6, 6 divided by 3 equal 2. Remain 0. 0 is not different than 0. Because 6 is a multiple of 3, so we won't get in the if right now. We're going to get back to the loop and go with number 7. So we have 4, 5, we skip 6, 7, 8, and we skip 9 because 9 is also a multiple of 3. So at the end we should have 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8, and then we're going to print equal 24. So let's see if this works properly. I'm going to use Python 3.7. This is what I install on my server. I put 4 and 9. I have 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. 6 is not there and 9 also. Let me try that with 2 and 14. 3 is not there. 6 has been skipped. 9 also, and 12 also. So all multiple of 3 are skipped, but the rest is properly calculated. So we have our exercises number 1 complete and working properly. Let's go to the second exercise. The second one, we have to calculate something. We're going to give 2 numbers. So you remember, this is the one that we provide n and k. And we have to add 1 multiplied by 2, plus 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, plus 1 multiplied by 2, by 3, and 4, and so on, until we reach k. Here, we're going to stop at 2. Here, we're going to stop at 5. And here, we're going to stop at 6. Calculate. Let's see what this function is doing. I will need 2 counter. This is the way I think about my algorithm. You may have a different way of doing it in your head. And this is what's interesting with algorithm. You can do it, some people can do it a way, some people can do it a different way. There is sometimes many ways of doing it. I choose to do it with 2 counter and an accumulator. I set my accumulator to 0. I try with a total, but I don't need that. I just change my mind later. Then I will start with my counter number 1 from 1 to k. And in that loop, 1 to k, I'm gonna loop from 2 to that number. If I have k equal to 8 and my loop here is at 3, I'm gonna loop from 2 to 3 to multiply my total by 2 and then by 3. And every time I add it to my subtotal, and at the end, if my accumulator plus my subtotal is lower than n, I am allowed to accumulate it because I did not overflow that n number, and then I continue. And at the very end, because I'm going to do that for 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, every time I'm going to multiply by 2, and then by 2 by 3, and then by 2, 3, 4, and then by 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For sure, if at 8 I'm higher than n, I won't accumulate it, so I'm going to stop at 7, in fact. I will stop accumulate till 7. I won't accumulate the 8 one. So this is what the exercise is asking us to do. And at the very end of that k loop, I'm going to say the maximum k lower than n would be, and then I'm going to show the accumulate and make sure it's lower than n on my screen. For that, I'm going to call calcul 9 and 2. 9 will be the n and 2 will be the k. I'm going to try again with 160 and 5. And I'm going to try again with 8,000 something and 6. Let's try 1,000 something and 6. So have a try with this. Maximum lower, the k lower for n would be 3. This is our first example. The second time we reach 153, and the third time we reach 873. To test it, I will lower my 1000 here by 700. You remember, we shouldn't go through that amount now. Now we stop at 153 because the next k is going to give us 873. So this is why we stop, because the accumulation of that k multiplication now is going back to or further than the amount I put in place. I put 799, but I won't accumulate a big number like that. I stop here. This is what the exercises is asking us to do. So just to recapitulate, I do 1 to k, and in that 1 to k, I do it 1 to the number I'm in right now. If in that 1 to k I'm in 4, I'm going to do 1 to 4 or 2 to 4. If I'm in 5, I'm going to do it I'm going to multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I'm in 6, I'm going to multiply 1, 2, 3, and then I accumulate it. So it's the same thing as doing 1 plus 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2, plus 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, plus, and so on and so on. This is it for that function, for that exercises. We're going to go now with exercises number 3. You remember this exercise? We call a function mixit. The function, we give him 2 string. It doesn't matter about the string. You can put the string you need. I'm going to put a second one, like say hello world. my second string will be, this is a string longer than the other one. First, we need to loop on the maximum length, the shorter string. To do a mix, we can't go until this because we won't be able to permute anything. For that, we need to know the length of each string and do a loop for the shortest one on both. To do that, at the very beginning of that function, I will calculate the length of the string number 1 and the length of string number 2. If the string number 1, the length is lower than the second one, my maximum will be the length of the first one. But if the second one is shorter, my maximum length for my loop will be the length of the second one. So this is how I choose to set my maximum length for my loop, the shortest one on both. After this, I'm going to convert. This is the way manipulate string in Python. You can't use like C language the string variable and a bracket and the position number. It's not working exactly like that, but if you want to do it like that, you convert that string into an array. This is what list is going to do. List will convert that string into a list of character or an array of character. So LST string 1 is now a list of all character instead of a string. It's like a array. Same thing, I'm going to convert my string number 2 into an array or a list. After that, I'm gonna loop from 0 because the list position began at 0. If you have 8 character, it starts 0 until 7. I'm gonna loop from 0 until maximum length. Maximum length is the shorter string that I have. Because human count at 1 and they ask me to do every time the position is a even number, but the even number for my teacher, it's the second character, but the second character, my counter will be 1. You remember that. I just say counter plus 1 to have it a human-like counting, but in fact the 0 position will be interpreted as 1. 1 it's not an even number. I won't permute. When my counter will be 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, it's my second position. Second position, it's a even number. At this moment, I'm going to permute the character in string number 1, the position number 1, so the second one. I will just keep that in memory because here I'm going to overwrite. If I overwrite and I don't remember what it is, I won't be able to do the second one. So just put that in memory, a temporary string. I should call that temporary character. Temporary character. And then I put the character position number 1, or the second character in my second string. I put this one in the place I want it to be, and the first, exactly, it's the same position, but in the string number 1. And in the string number 2, I'm going to put the temporary character that I keep in memory to remember that. That was, in fact, the character in string number 1. So this is the way to permute things like that. And at the end of that loop, I need to convert back my string, or no, sorry, I convert my string to a list. Now I need to convert back that list to a string. This is the way how to do it. For every element in my list, I'm going to join that into my string. It's the same thing as doing character 0 is the first. I'm going to add it to my string, and then the character number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's just here I'm converted to string to list, and here list to string. In between, I prefer to play with the list. It's easier to permute character. This is why before I convert string to list, and at the end, list to string. At the end, I'm going to print out my string 1 and string 2 to show you the permutation of it. And that's all. Let's try that. Let's see if there is no compile error. So we have our first string, A, B, C, D, E, F, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every even position has been permute. That's good. And you remember we have our hello world, and we have another string. That string, you remember that string was longer than the previous one. Here we have an H. The H has been put here, and here we should have a E because it's hello world. We put the E here, and we permute things like that. So that third exercises function very well. I hope you enjoy and you understand a better understanding on Python, but especially on algorithm. And just for your information, it's important for you as a programmer to understand algorithm, because that will be your job. People will come to you. People are not programmer. They will come to you with something like that. Can you please add some number from U to V, and if it's a multiple of 3, don't add it. So, and you have to think about, okay, my customer want me to do that. What kind of algorithm I should do in Python or any other language to achieve what my customer needs. And this is where algorithm is make you think about how you're going to teach the computer by programming to have what the human expect to be. I hope it's something new for you, something good you learn, and see you next time. If you have any more exercise at school or at work, don't worry. If it's in C, Python, PHP, it doesn't matter. Any Linux question also, you can reach me. I'm gonna do a video especially for you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.